Warning. It is the opinion of the 4th Street Productions LLC and the Working Perspectives podcast that we should inform you that some of the language used in this recording could possibly be considered offensive. You have been warned, so if you decide to listen to the recording, then don't complain about the language. All right, I'm here at the Cutting Room NYC with the owner, Steve Walter. Let's take a look.
It's all objective to be effective by voicing societies, working perspective, exploring your day and how you get paid, launching a new episode every Tuesday. Your day can transform while we inform with new episodes available on every platform. So check out our vibe and how we get live. Then do us a solid. Share and subscribe. We're just sharing. We're just sharing. We're just sharing. Working perspectives.
Hi, hello, how are you? And welcome to the Cutting Room, New York City. We're here with the Cutting Room owner, Steve Walter. Steve, thanks for being back on the show.
Thanks. Nice to be back on the show.
Glad to have you. So last time we were talking with Steve, we went over some of his history and then how he obtained or started the Cutting Room NYC. So just a little brief synopsis. You grew up in the Asbury Park part of New Jersey, correct?
That's right. Correct.
And then you got into music at an early age. Even back then, you worked at a club, and you basically
Concert hall, yeah.
you a concert hall, sorry,
Right.
and you wanted to work there to be around the music,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And your first fell in love, Beatles on
Ed
Ed Sullivan.
Good memory.
Yeah, great show, right? I mean,
Yeah.
but we had talked about that previously on our episode, which is available now on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Work Perspectives Podcast. But Steve then invited us to come up here, and I'll tell you, it's an opportunity we couldn't pass up. We'll have some footage of this place. If you ever are in here, this place is incredible. I mean, just we'll have some video footage of this on this episode, but it's unreal.
I spent the last 45 minutes just walking around, staring at the walls, reading stuff.
Looking at all the painting.
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. Great place for a show. So after you fell in love with music and started working at the concert hall, you then got into women's clothing a little
Yeah, I
bit.
had to survive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Manufactured. I had some retail stores down the shore. Swimwear, women's swimwear and sports. And then I got into manufacturing out of women's outerwear domestically.
Nice. And then you said, to hell with that.
Yeah. This opportunity came up and nothing filled the void of music. So I did both for a little while, then I closed that, did this full time.
Were you always because you'd worked at the concert hall at a young age, you had always had the idea of one day of opening up your own club?
No, really. Just
No.
opportunity came around.
Yeah.
I want to be a rock star.
I mean, don't we all? I still
Yeah.
want to be.
This used to be a lingerie factory. Did you find this through your clothing?
No, not all. This was built as a lingerie factory in 1912. When we took it over, it was a Persian rug store.
Okay.
It just rolls of carpet all over. We had to put the wall was there, nothing. We built, so it was a big build up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell it's so beautiful, man. I can't say it enough. And just the cool stuff you have, like the bar is shaped like a guitar, right? And then
It's
under
got frets.
under
You could actually turn, which is the first thing I did when I walked in.
then you have underneath, you have like the musical notes,
Yeah.
right? And then, I mean, just the art around here and the chandelier with the Stetsons on it. It is absolutely gorgeous.
I do have a question. That angel up there, is that Joseph Stalin with a bow and arrow?
Or is it Freddie Mercury?
No, no. The one with the guitar is me. The one look in the mirror is Chris Noth. The woman is Elaine from Elaine's. And the other one is Josh, who's a partner here. He lives in Italy. Has been here.
Oh man, that's
So yeah,
That's great.
there's a lot of inside jokes.
yeah. I
That's
love
Elaine's
that,
room
though.
in there, which was a restaurant in New York 48 years. And there's a poster of her and people saw put pictures at Elaine's that it took on the name of Elaine's room. And
It's
that's
got
what
a
I'm
good, yeah.
No, I mean, I love too, there's balcony seating and even just you walk around and the way you have it set up, it's like there's the bar area, then there's the seating area, but still you have like a projector screen in the bar area
Yeah.
to watch the show. That's good. you thought of everything.
Yeah.
Sure, it was process trial and error at
There's
times.
no doubt about that. Yeah.
And then, so after you got out of the women's clothing and you got this place in 99, was it?
Yeah, we opened up November 99, yeah.
November 99. And I remember you said one of your big first shows, imagine this, guys, we're sitting here, right? Chris Rock, or was this at the old place where Chris,
The old place.
okay, the old place, or Kid Rock
Right.
came out dressed in a bunny
Right.
outfit the day before Easter.
And play with Sheryl Crow. That's when he's going out of it.
Yeah. That's crazy. It's so funny to think of that stuff. But man, the amount of stuff you've seen and the amount of things that have gone on in this place and at your other location, which you're no longer at, it's just this place.
Yeah, that lease is up, so moved to a bigger, better space.
Oh, dude, you ain't kidding, pal. So I want to get into it a little bit. So I'm looking around. I mean, this place is gorgeous. Honestly, like I feel like I'm in Disney World in this place. You know what I mean? Like it's so cool. But what was like some of the inspiration for some of the things you saw? Like we're saying, the bar shaped as a guitar. Where did that come from?
Just why not have a guitar shaped bar? Something different, you know? And the contract want me to do it. I can carve it. So you can carve a guitar. And so he got oak and chiseled away, you know.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
and
anybody can have a square bar, right? You have to go around the columns. So.
yeah.
Because these columns are here, the other flips will collapse. You got to work around them. That's the hardest thing about finding a location.
Yeah.
Where the columns don't get in the way of.
You have to worry about the foundational stuff. Yeah. I mean, you did well. I mean, I don't know. We'll have pictures, but you kind of see there's columns on either side of us that support the stage. But like what you did with them, the rustic feel and everything, phenomenal. I can't tell people like, you know, I hope I'm visually, you know, I'm doing it a little bit of justice by describing it. And like the chandelier and everything, we'll have B-roll footage of all that stuff. So you're here. And how does it go working club? Like at the stage you're at now, people obviously are coming to you, right? But at first, was it you going to other people, or how did it
the
work?
bands and all, but still, if the act doesn't draw, people aren't just coming in.
Yeah.
We're in a quiet area, and Manhattan isn't what it was, and
Mhm.
everything here is so expensive and all.
Mhm.
It's not like the old days. So, the name makes it easier to get acts for sure. We've been around to get some credibility.
Well, but in the early days, what was your way of like, you were just telling people like, get your ass in here, or what?
Yeah, well, you had a better location. Yeah, there wasn't Brooklyn yet or Jersey City, so that demographic was in Manhattan.
Mhm.
Then they found us. We had a killer jukebox, so people used to come in Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from like 11 till 4 of the mob, and it'd be like 4:45. Last call at the bar. Now people are going home at 11.
Yeah.
A different world since COVID.
Yeah. True. Very true, man. That's one thing. I bartended for a long time, and you know we've all worked and done the late night thing.
Sure.
New York's a different animal because in Philly it's 2:00 and get the hell out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't gotta go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. You know.
Well, they don't give 4:00 liquor license anymore.
Oh,
So we have that. Do we need it? No.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But it was grandfathered in from before.
Well, at the time, we don't know how we got it. We applied for it. We got it back then, you know,
Yeah.
about 12 years ago.
I mean, they probably gave it to you because they knew you don't really.
Yeah, you got to go to community board. We never had any violations before. So,
Yeah. So nice. So we were talking before when you've had this club, the amount of things you've had to see, being here, like working the club. You told us before you come in usually like 12:30, right? So what is your day like when you come in? Like, what's the first thing you're looking for?
I got to get change for the registers, hit the bank on the way in.
Okay.
Check inventory. You'll order liquor, beer, wine.
Mhm.
Stuff will be in. I'll have to receive it, get it put in stock. Phones ringing. Repair people come. The exterminator, the dishwasher guy, the beer line clean, all that stuff goes on during the day.
Yeah.
Changing light bulbs, paint touch, all that kind of stuff, and booking bands.
Okay.
Emails and phone calls and texts, and then before you know it, staff starts coming in.
Yeah.
Tell them what's going on for the night. Band starts sound checking, and there it goes.
Damn, that's fun.
Off to the races.
Off to the races.
Yeah.
Is there a different energy? Like I'll tell you this, when we were like, we took the train up here and like we were jazzed coming, you know what I mean? Like, this is so exciting. And thanks again for having us. But like when you have a big act coming in and like tonight's going to be a cooker, like, is there like an energy in the building? Is the staff getting up for it? Or?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when it happens, then energy goes through.
Yeah. Did you ever, so early on, right? Like we briefly mentioned the Kid Rock with Sheryl Crow performing like that. Is there a performance you remember like early on that you're like, if I could have this every night, or like this was memorable? Like what?
Certainly that one with Gwyneth Paltrow and all those guys, the one with Chris Rock and Cheryl, that
Yeah.
was big. When U2 just showed up, that was pretty amazing.
Ooh.
There was a U2 cover band called Unforgettable Fire playing a tribute band. And U2 was at the Garden that week and their fan club was here. And I heard me screaming, holding his cell phone. It was like, what happened? A fight broke out or something. And The Edge and the bass player Hamilton with Alexander Hamilton, he came in and the real Edge said to the fake Edge, like, they both had the wool caps on. And they did Streets No Name and something else. And they ran up right out again. They had their own videographer following them and it went viral crazy. But I never saw, didn't know they were coming, didn't speak to them anymore. So that was a good night. SNL after parties or crazy stuff would happen. Those are great.
How long have you been doing the SNL after party?
Oh, a long time from the old company.
Do you know, like, how do you get, like, do you know Lorne Michaels or how do you?
No, he was only here once. I don't know. I knew people that did it and we've been doing it for so long. This is one of their favorite spots going in live and karaoke and stuff. So a lot of, it goes back to the days of Jimmy Fallon and Horatio that had Dan Aykroyd hosting. John Hamm doing Rainbow Connection on stage. They've had a lot of, it was crazier years ago than that, but it's still. And back then you had to have tickets. Now use a password, so you just text it to the friends.
No,
But yeah, but those are good.
Word.
Oh, the Howard Stern show here.
I didn't know that, so I watched that, and I didn't know it was here. And then I was looking at the bill, and I was like, I watched this.
Yeah, that was pretty cool afternoon. Yeah, it was Howard. Everybody doing Billy Joel songs. Tony Bennett did New York State of Mind. Pink, Boys to Men. Melissa Etheridge, Dina Mendel.
So the whole crowd is all made up of stars watching stars.
Oh, some Matt Lauer was here. I think Rachel Ray was here. Like he had to be invited. He had to win it or something. They didn't tell where it was going to be until that afternoon. It was a town hall, they called it. And Howard never does stuff outside of the station. We were lucky to have it.
Yeah.
So it was a small crowd. I think maybe 60 people, something like that.
Still,
and it was a live show. It was really cool.
Man, that's incredible.
I was here.
How do you like when you're dealing with like those are like Billy Joel, Howard Stern, like the boys, and like these are class A pop like stars. Is there like do you deal with them a certain way? Or?
Yeah, you just try to make them happy. Like you don't think how cool it is because you're worried about everything going smooth.
Yeah.
See, and then after it's over, it's like, oh my God, that really happened. But that was with Dave Chappelle for 7 shows. He was a great guy, so smart. We would hang out everywhere. And then we had Joan Rivers every Wednesday for 4 years. So it was great.
What?
At the old space.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, underrated, man.
Oh yeah.
He is top one of the greats ever.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
And it's nice. I know she's vicious on stage, but off stage, so nice. $20 at bathroom attendance every week. Christmas gifts for the whole staff. They're the nicest people.
That's all class, man. I'll tell you, that is a lot of class there for sure. I'll tell you, that goes a long way. Like I remember when I was bartending in Philly, like I work at places and there'd be times like big shots would come, like Charles Barkley would come in or whatever, and you always remember like they're good tipper or not. Like that stuff goes around. If you know what I mean? Like that's something I feel like that means a lot. You know, it says a lot to the quality of the person.
Yeah, if I was famous, I'd be very careful about that.
No, there was a big thing in Philly a couple of years ago with one of our running backs. His name's Shady McCoy, and he left like a 2-cent tip, and it went viral.
Oh yeah,
and he ate it.
Yeah, we keep it quiet because you want people to come back. So when they aren't nice, you don't be careful about that. But still, Nash together on the old space is pretty major. I think a lot of these guys getting older, so you don't have as many people around like you had.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But that was cool. Those kind of things. Yeah.
Man, that's great.
We've done filming here. It's like Billions did the last of one season. If you remember the band playing, I never saw the show. The band playing here, and you're in the corner. They film that.
They film it at your club. You're like, I'll catch the show.
I've never seen the show.
Showtime.
But Jennifer Hudson filmed this special here. So a lot of filming, which was great. A lot of interviews. Dan Rather's done some of his interview shows here. Yeah. 2020, those coming during the afternoon. It's great.
Yeah. I don't want you. I mean, you don't have to air the dirty laundry or anything. I'm not trying to do that. But have you ever had someone in here that when they're done, you're like, this person's never coming back?
Not famous people.
Okay.
No, they were never. No one was ever that.
Yeah. Because they're just. I mean, they're kind of doing their job, right?
Yeah. No, they're not anybody there.
Yeah.
But Sting played the old Cutting Room, did Field of Gold on Loon.
Man,
Yeah,
That's
with
like
another
it's
guy,
a tall
yeah.
harp, right? Kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it's so hard to play. Him and another guy did that. And he did Soul Man with Sam Morris and Dave.
Yeah.
So he came to watch Billy Joel another time. Billy Joel played here. Lady Gaga got signed on that piano at the old space.
Wow.
You can go to YouTube and see her play that. You know,
Man,
Lady Gaga Cutting Room.
I mean, like, but you're a great musician in your own right, and your guitar is your guy, right?
Yeah.
Like that's your axe. Is that? I mean, I don't want to
Yeah,
use.
good try.
Yeah. So does anyone invite you to
Oh,
come
all
up?
the time. Danny Serafin of Chicago, the drummer, after they got in Rock and Roll Fame, we had the party the next time. And I did 205 or 64 with him. That was an honor.
Wow.
Felicia Collins from Letterman always has me up. Simon Kirk of Bad Companies pulled me up. We do the Rockwell Fantasy Camp here. That's coming up this month, actually. July.
What is rock and roll things?
These professionals pay to go to this camp, and they have classes and they play with their idols, and then they do the final performance here. Each class kind of does a thing. So I got to play at the end with the counselor, so it's pretty cool.
Wow, man, that's
Yeah.
bad. I mean, but there are some times where you have to be like if there's a big act, you're like, I'm watching. Right,
yeah,
like,
yeah. Judy Collins is great here. Yes. With John Anderson, yes, we did a thing called Backstory with Guitar World, and they had different people getting interviewed, and they were playing John Anderson. Yes, when he started singing that voice exact like it was, that was chills.
Oh man,
that was pretty
absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
Man.
and having presidents here, like Bill Clinton did a great speech here about arts and music. That was amazing. George W. Bush did an interview here. He's a really nice, funny guy. I was surprised how funny he was.
Yeah.
He was cool. We've had Carolyn Kennedy was an honor, and John Lewis was an honor. Nancy Pelosi, sweet fun, political fundraising.
Yeah. No big deal.
Yeah, so
Just some
that's
of the most
cool.
powerful
When
people.
that's come the Secret Service here in advance.
Yeah.
And we did Whoopi's 50th birthday at the old Cutting Room.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, Robin Williams was there, Robert De Niro, Mayor Bloomberg, he was the mayor at the time.
Yeah.
Ray Romano, not Ray, Brad Garrett, he was on.
Oh yeah, the brother. Yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of thing, all those, it was a great party.
Yeah.
Whoopi brought in soul food from Harlem. That was
That was like
I have recordings of Whoopi and Robin on stage and come together. That's before cell phones.
Wow.
Yeah, so I have recordings of all that.
Man,
Yeah.
some of I mean, like,
So-
this is one of these. This is one of those places, legit. If the walls could talk, right? Like,
Yeah,
forget it. You know what
that's
I
what New
mean?
York used to be like.
Like all the stars. Like now, I
Yeah.
feel like everyone's in LA and all that.
Exactly. But 9/11, they got scared and left. So many have died off, and they're just not, people just don't go out the way they did. They
Yeah.
do it all online. Amazon killed retail, and Netflix killed movies, and Tinder killed dating. I don't see guys go up to girls trying to meet them at the bar. They like push buttons and meet at Starbucks.
Dude, I'll tell you, they're terrified now.
Yeah.
Women are.
Jamie.
Me too. You got to be careful.
Oh
But,
gosh, can't go near them.
Yeah, so you don't see that happening, and just people aren't around it. The internet killed a lot of things.
So that's the one thing. I mean, like this place, like, and I think when you originally had it on, it's almost like the rock and roll version of the Copacabana, right? Like,
Yeah.
this is where you come. Like it's beautiful. The layout. You can sit, you can watch, you can have a show, you can eat.
Sure.
Like that's the kind of thing. Like this is so great, you know. Like
Absolutely.
the fact that you're still around is it like it's just a tribute to how great the place actually is.
From my stubborn tenacity, yeah.
yeah. You
But,
stick to it.
We do also a lot of book releases. Those are cool.
Oh.
A lot of that. Yeah.
But like someone like an author of a book will come
Yeah.
in and will they
Little
read
sign
it?
books.
Oh.
Sometimes come and read some pages of it. Yeah. We've done a lot of those.
That's a great idea.
Robert Graham, Robert Stock of Robert Graham, my favorite men's shirt designer. He's done the launches here a couple of times. I've been wearing his shirts. It's like, wow. I'm like, we've had a lot of, Donna Karen's been here, Nicole Miller, and what's her name, Wang, with the
Vera
Wang,
Wang, yeah.
So we've had a lot of
Like-
John Barbados, a lot of designers.
And they would do like a fashion show, or they would
Robert Graham did a launch, but most of them just have come to things. They just haven't been there.
Wow.
We've done that. Yeah.
And tonight, I mean, I don't want to blow up your spot. Are we allowed to say what you're doing tonight, or?
Oh yeah.
So tonight, like this is so cool.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Where-
It's a good charity.
Well, like you have like a massive you have you'll have later in the week you'll have just a big show, but tonight you have
The Chabad House is a great organization. So it's like a reunion of alumni from the Chabad House in New Brunswick, New Jersey. I've been really fortunate in my life. I'm healthy, and so you got to give back. So we do a lot of fundraising.
couldn't agree more. Man,
We've
that's
done a lot
incredible.
recently with soldiers come back from the Ukraine missing limbs. There's an organization that raises money for them, and they get their legs in Orlando, and in Philadelphia to get their arms.
Yeah.
It's $25,000 a leg, and these soldiers who come missing limbs, and they're on stage from the day before, and they raise money to get them. That's a great organization.
That's fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic.
So
See, that's great. That like this is like people talk about like if people consider what we have, it's called like a platform, right? But
Right.
you're really using this as like a platform to do great things with your charity and stuff like that.
yeah, big corporations don't throw that bottom line.
No.
And it used to be all proprietorships, and that you care. You get the community, and that's why you need this stuff. Because right now we have Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks and Chipotle and Walgreens and Chase, and they're not going to do that.
No.
And this is what brought the culture in New York and brings people.
Dude, I hope like honestly, if New York had like more of these types of
Yeah,
places, it would be back to the New York that it was.
Music stores, you get a guitar, you want to order online.
Yeah.
You
don't want to go in and feel it for yeah.
So it's terrible. It's the clothes, you want to feel the fabric. It's really sad.
Yeah.
That all that stuff's going away.
But it's people pay for convenience nowadays. And
they want to sit home.
I'll tell you, one of the things too that I found, and I don't know if you've noticed this, James or Justin, is like, and you must see it too in a public setting, like people are a lot more awkward now than they were.
Yeah.
Like, is it not the truth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no one like socializes in real life,
Yeah.
You used to need to go out anywhere and just meet people. And now it's just like everybody's on their phone. Yeah.
Staff is young. I see it. They don't know. They never say we're going out for dinner and they get a bottle of wine and some pizza with your friends. It's just ghost kitchens. There's one on the Upper West Side. They had 27 different restaurants on one ghost kitchen, all different names. So you have Tommy Cheng Chinese and Jose Cuervo Mexican, and then they found some had the same dishes, 2 different prices, and they weren't even real restaurants, but people just order in on apps. So through Grubhub and Caviar and all them. And you sit home. So you're not going out. It's fun to go out and meet your friends at a restaurant and get food and drink.
Yeah.
But you're from Philly, you have tons of old restaurants as well. And that's fun.
Yeah.
It's a social thing. And yes, you're right. It's being lost. And especially the young people, they don't know from it.
I feel like COVID really killed it. Like I never shopped online and I always like went out before COVID, after COVID. Like I haven't been able to get back to that. So
yeah. And I don't even know people date. Like they meet a girl in quarter and plan a night and get tickets, go for dinner. Or just, have a cup of coffee and hook up.
Yeah, believe it or not, me and Justin, like I'm married and he has a girlfriend that will actually sleep with him. But Jamie here is single. What is it dating life like now, Jamie?
I don't even have one.
It's that bad.
Yeah, since COVID, I don't even try. Because like dating apps are so bad. I like go on and I'm right off.
Yeah.
So like, and then like no one goes out. So there's really no way of meeting people anymore.
I will ask you this, James. If you did meet a guy and he said, let me take you to dinner and a show, and he brought you here, is it like game over or what?
Oh yeah, I would love that. I would love it.
Yeah. I mean,
the girls come here single feel safe because it's that kind of place. A lot of women do come here, they feel it's not.
It's not
You can
Creeksville.
sit by yourself, you don't look like lost.
Yeah.
But no, it's like a lost art. I see it in my state. I didn't know what it's like to go to date, guy taking God. So I used to plan to dress nicely.
Yes.
For a while, it was
You
fun.
got your date outfit, you're doing your thing. Yeah, you have it all planned out. I used to love doing that. I had like a first date spot. Don't tell my wife, but but yeah, that stuff doesn't happen anymore. I couldn't agree more. But so let's keep it going.
A few moments later.
Justin, let's go.
All right, Steve, I'm going to ask you a few questions. Feel free to decline if you don't.
Here we go. I remember last time.
I asked you about broken bones and rest.
we got into potty talk. Yep.
Do you? What's your favorite drink?
As far as alcohol?
Yeah.
Well, if I'm having steak and nice red wine, or Italian food, nice wine. If I'm doing Mexican, margarita or sangria. I'm not a big drinker, but it goes
with you're a pairing guy, not a
martini. Yeah, I'd rather have an ice cream soda. I'm not alcohol doesn't taste great, but sometimes you need a little buzz.
Yeah.
Some of them. I've been getting those liquid IV things you shake in the bottle to rehydrate.
Never had.
They'll change your life in the morning.
Oh man.
I'm like 2 cups of coffee to get my heart.
Same man.
That's my drink. Coffee.
What are we doing for breakfast?
2 cups of coffee.
That's it. No food.
Sometimes we ought to pick up a bagel with something or an egg sandwich, egg and cheese sandwich. But I'm not a big
I was flipping through the menu. What's your favorite on there?
On here, pasta bolognese is good, and the eggplant parm is pretty good.
Bolognese.
Yeah, the biggest seller is the burger, I guess, because it's
quick and easy.
I was looking at the tacos.
Yeah.
Fish tacos are a big seller. The Southwest salad's a big seller, and Of course.
That's a pretty great, that's a pretty like you're going from Italian to continental to Mexican.
Yeah,
That's
I wouldn't think
the
toward
latkes on there. I saw.
what is?
latkes.
Oh yeah, we you know what, we had them for parties, for passions, and people loved them. So we put it on the menu. They so
Okay.
And you do brunch too, right? So
Yeah.
like the jazz brunch.
Yeah, we have Mexican omelet. Yeah, it was quick.
Huevos rancheros.
Yeah, all that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Not to like advertise other people. What's your favorite spots around here?
Favorite
You
one.
got a favorite like restaurant? Where
Oh,
if you're not
wow.
here, where do you want to be right around here?
Yeah, that's a tough question. So many of them going out of business.
Could you imagine though? I
Is
don't
it
mean to interrupt you,
has
Steve.
100 things on the way
Well,
here.
also
Yeah.
like, could you imagine though, like, imagine he does want to go out, right? And he goes out and like, there's no show, right? Like, it doesn't look like this place. The food isn't great. Like,
Close early.
how disappointed kid, like, you must
Yeah.
be, you know,
I
in
used to live on
comparison.
Lanes 2 in the morning, but there's a little like Italian downtown I like. Amelia, been since anyway, it's been since 1956. Really cool.
Oh, like Little Italy type of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, like you haven't South Italy.
Yeah.
It's near Little Italy around the corner. Emilio's Bellato, it's called. That's great for Italian. Seville is great for Spanish in the West Village. There's a great steak restaurant called Keen's, been around since 1700s.
Oh.
So there's just a nothing Chinese I love on 9th Avenue, but it's good Chinese.
Yeah.
The Sugarfish, they might even be in Philly. It's a chain out of LA. Amakaze Sushi. So, you know, we have with sake.
Yeah.
But
you know the spots though, because
yeah,
you live
I'm an
around
eater.
here too, right?
Yeah, I've been here in the city.
Do you have a car too, or
I was
just gonna
Jersey,
ask you
not
that.
here. Yeah,
your car's in Jersey?
Yeah, you don't want a car here. Parking, you take a loan to park.
Oh, I couldn't
What's
imagine.
the vertical? We saw like the vertical outdoor parking garage, you know, where
Yeah.
the
Oh
four
yeah, they bring
stacked.
things. Yeah,
Oh.
You show up, you're like, can I have my car now? They're like, yeah, give us 42
Yeah.
minutes to get it.
it's like
Extra
$60,
style.
$70 a day if you want to park for a whole day. It's nuts. Here you can park on the street after 6. But New York has gotten so early, the parking lot down the street here closes at 8 o'clock on a Saturday. New York City used to be so much fun here. Everything was open late. Now after 10 o'clock, it's hard to find food. And nobody dresses up for anything.
I'll tell you though,
Back out on men's times.
yeah. I'll tell you though, as soon as that people like the first person to find the niche of like open at 10:30 or whatever, gonna clean
That's
up.
what I think. I think so too. So is it that nobody's open because people aren't going out late, or people not going out because nothing's open? Chicken or the egg? I don't know.
Yeah.
And the crime thing, people afraid to take subways at night. My staff, they got back to Brooklyn. They take a subway at night, it's scary, or they can do a $60 Uber. So it's hard to get around at night.
Is the
It's so
subways that
expensive.
bad?
I wouldn't take it at night. It's not that bad unless you go in the Bronx, bad areas, but you gotta be careful.
Yeah,
You know,
true.
I take it every day to work, but I'm not gonna take it home at night.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, I hear you. You know, it is what it is. People,
Yeah,
it's-
you know
it's-
about crime, Philly.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
I was like, they'll stab you for fun where we're at, you know.
Philly's gotten a lot worse.
Yeah.
95
Oh, I
fell
know.
apart the other day.
Yeah, I was telling someone was talking about some like bad place. I was like, "Have you been to Kensington?" I'm just saying,
Right.
like that's what you know.
But even my dry cleaner, the guy that cleaners complains because people aren't dressing up in the theaters and the offices didn't come back, so they're dying. The
Yeah.
bodegas,
I never
you know,
thought of
the
that.
offices came. You want your coffee and bagel? Those places got killed. The lunch places after work for drinks, staying for theater.
Oh, my
Restaurants stay open later because they know certain people areas work late, so it just killed. They got to get the offices back. People want to stay home and work on.
I didn't even.
All those people that wear dress shirts and then have to go to the dry cleaner with 5
Yeah.
every week.
Exactly.
I never
Yeah.
even saw that.
And if you're not going out to theater and dressing for nice restaurants
Yeah.
and stuff,
Yeah.
so the whole culture is really
Yeah. I mean, but that's for now. Like the want for the live entertainment,
Right.
it's on the rise. I think.
I hope so.
I think. I mean, I definitely think so. The thing that sucks though is like a way to build your business. And we talked about it earlier. Like a YouTube channel for you because you have the capability
Yeah.
to have a full production and stream
Yeah.
like a live show. Like blessing and the curse, right? Like
Yeah.
yes, it gets
Well,
people.
you can
out.
always should do the show it on, live shoot after. See this. When I was young, you had to be there, and it was so much fun to share communally. You weren't watching like this; you were there, and if you weren't there, you missed it. You can tell your
Yes.
friends about it. You want to be, and you share. Everybody's like, "Wow!" Together, it was
Yes.
energy. And if they had more of that, and they had more music in the schools, There'd be less drugs, less gangs, all that
I
stuff.
could not agree more.
It's so important.
Oh yeah. Music is so important.
All the arts.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. Music, dance, everything like that.
Yeah, we've done a thing where music in the prisons. We've done benefits for that organization because Music Combia, and they've had ex-prisoners come here and music to help them. David Crosby played at that. He was big on that. May he rest in peace. So he played at that.
Oh,
those kind of music in the schools, music in children. We've done a lot of those things.
That's phenomenal.
It's helped people tremendous.
That's like we're saying. You're helping with the platform. That's phenomenal. But you're being creative with it as well. You're like, oh, we can do this. Let's get him in here. Let's try that. And like, you're almost really like an advocate for music and for live entertainment.
Sure.
Which
Absolutely.
is, dude, that's incredible stuff. You're very proud of that. So, let's keep talking about this place though. Or Justin, questions.
I don't have any more questions, Matthew.
Great job.
I could badger you with insane
I'm
things.
sure you could.
All right. Yeah, always. So, okay, let's keep it moving then. So I want to talk about, we're going like the early days, you're at the old place.
Right.
But when you first came here, what was the transition like from the old spot, which you can tell us where it was, and then the transition to here? And is anything in here from the old spot?
Oh yeah. Like these chairs we covered, they were black, for instance. But it was a weird transition because I thought it'd be easier than it was, but it was like starting over. And because the other place was smaller and not elaborate, it's like, oh yeah, I know that place.
Yeah.
And they didn't realize this is a whole other thing. So it kind of worked against us a little bit.
Yeah.
But we want to keep that feeling. So the couches up there from the old place, a lot of the chairs, a lot of the furniture, a lot of
the barber's chair,
that piano, the silver drum set over there, some of the amps. The piano I had in storage because people liked it, and I didn't want to take the chance of getting another one that wasn't. But if those keys could talk,
Oh,
So a lot of the band equipment. What's changed? Back then you had analog and everything digital. I got a room downstairs filled with analog equipment, too good to throw out, and you don't need it. And par lights, hot lights. Now it's all LEDs. So that's certainly a big change. And there's no more bar scene like there was. No after work crowd and that late night Saturday because the kids are in Jersey City and Brooklyn. When I say kids, like 20s and 30s.
Right. They're gonna come back though. Like it's as far as like the getting here. We took the train up. It wasn't bad, right? It's a straight shot kind of thing, not terrible. So like I think like the coming in here more, and I think they'll start to open up more, especially to like getting the word out about this place and sharing the performances and like saying like what I think people love is the unpredictability. Like you're saying, like you had a U2 tribute band here and then the Edge shows up and you know what I mean? And like they come and tear the place down. Like that type of place
going to show up.
Like to have a place where something like that could possibly happen.
Absolutely.
And you do a lot for young stars coming up. Like we talked before, you had Berkeley night here.
Oh, you
right?
could do that.
Yeah. So it's like that, like those types of things, like you do a lot to help build a community. So I think that's another reason why, people like playing here and respect this kind of space.
Broadway stuff. And when Tony Danza was here the other day, he's been here before.
Oh my God.
Chris knows, but he's a part. So that's not unusual.
I love Tony Danza.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. He sang up here too.
You're a musician. All right. How many times have you said, hold me closer, Tony Danza?
Oh, yeah.
Tony Danza, right?
Exactly.
So, okay. So, oh, yeah. So, all right, you transition from the old spot, right? And as soon as you got here, like you have a bigger space, like, how long did it take to build it out?
2 years.
2 years.
Not so much waiting for inspections, waiting for plans to be approved. They're in no rush, which is ridiculous because sooner we get open, you're collecting taxes.
Yes.
So I got people on payroll waiting, and waiting for the building to put their we had a bad landlord first, so it's been sold to a nice guy now, but it took him forever to put the Type E fire alarm in. So we couldn't get a failance approved inspection until the fire alarm was in. We're like, come on, I got chefs on payroll, bookers on payroll, trying to line things up. We were opening up, not selling liquor because the liquor license was approved. We can't get out of the C of O. We couldn't get a C of O because of the fire alarm. In the meantime, you're paying rent. She went to a lot of money that fourth quarter. And then we opened up officially like then December. So you blew it for the grand opening.
Yeah.
So it was a stressful time.
Jesus.
But we've gone through Sandy, 9/11, blackouts, the building collapsed across the street, the old cutting room. It's not much we happen to.
Wow. Yeah. It's just what's left, an earthquake, right?
Yeah. You never know.
Yeah. You've been through a pandemic. You've been through, what I mean? You're literally a plague of locusts is what's next.
Yeah. But one night at the old cutting room, Sean Penn was there at the table with Harry Belafonte. So I'm in set 11. So I'm just waiting for a friend. The friend shows up. It's Al Pacino.
Oh my
So I
god!
put them in the back of the table with Billy Zane because his sister Lisa was singing the night.
Oh, nice.
Billy's from Titanic.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, Billy Zane, Harry Belafonte, Sean Penn, and Harry Belafonte on one table. That's kind of stuff used to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're all older now. Another night,
But
Sean
they
was there
loved a
with
good show, though, right?
what's that?
They wanted a good.
Oh yeah, yeah. They were
Exactly. So
allowed
they
to-
knew, like, sorry, I interrupted.
Yeah,
you.
it's
Go ahead.
okay. No, no. One night Sean came with Nicole Kidman, yeah, and Kathleen. I forget her. They were in a
Turner?
movie together. Yeah,
Okay.
in a movie. Anyway, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But he knew, like, hey, we're in
Okay,
here,
yeah,
we're
he
working
takes-
together. Let me take you to my favorite spot.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's this. I mean, like, you can't
Yeah.
ask for more than that.
Yeah, Jimmy Webb's played here. He's played a lot, and there are people. A famous comedian out of England came to see him. Yeah, the band Straw, like they have there. When David Johansen played as Buster Poindexter, Bill Murray always come because they did that Grinch movie together. So yes, to answer your question, like there are people, celebrities that really like music.
Mhm.
Bill Murray's hit "Come to Our Jam" de Gloria. So you get those people jump. And their old jam, John Mayer came, the Little Wing.
Wow.
When we used to have the Monday Night Jam, Al Jardine, the Beach Boys did Help Me Rhonda. John Mayer came, like I said. So you never was going to
What was the and you don't do the Monday Night Jam anymore?
No, we did them there. Here we did Wednesday with Felicia. The problem that musicians come, they don't drink. I
Yeah.
think there was a gig that want to play, like, come on, and they stay all night, and it's just we'll go back to a little bit of it, but it was just exhausting.
Yeah. It was costing you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you. So you transitioned to this place, right? I mean, visually, is it what you envisioned? And then also, what was like your first big cabana? Like you wanted to open with a band.
First big, probably Billy Joel did something to get his music and movies into it. So he did the first big one, and students went to watch him. So that was it's for Universal Music.
Wow.
And we just did Breakfast with the Beatles again last Sunday. We were doing them each Beatle birthday for Q104. It's a rock radio station there. And put together a band that plays live. And he's always guests that have some Beatle affiliation. Steve Van Sant's usually the guest host. He's out with Bruce now, so he did two a couple weeks ago. But it's like Mark Rivera from Billy Joel's band, Richardson and Fat Phil. You get guys like that are in bands and they play Beatle tunes. I've even sat in a couple of those.
What? That's
8 to 10 in the morning.
You know who Steve Van Zandt is, right? Yeah.
He's here a lot.
Do you know?
No idea.
Have you ever seen The Sopranos?
I didn't watch it, no.
I've never seen it either. Don't feel bad. I know so many of my friends are in it. But that organ, that Hammond organ over there was given to us by Eddie Brigatti and the Young Rascals. How can I be sure? Good loving. People got to be free. A beautiful morning. So that's major. Still get chills looking at that. That's a hell of a gift.
Wow, that's incredible, man. So okay, so then you're here, like you have the first big blast show, and then what is like one of the first things you said? Sandy. When did you move into this space?
Like I think December 2012. We opened.
Oh, okay.
We opened.
Oh, so Sandy was not a couple of years after that.
No, it was right before that. We were scheduled for inspection that day. Sandy hit, and everybody so it all began. And then they killed the power. Because they didn't want to blow up the generators. So all the ice cream melted, all the meat, everything went bad. Insurance wouldn't cover it because it was done manually, not by on that day, out of our control. So there's insurance they always find.
Oh yeah. Always. You kidding me? If they can get out of it, they will.
We've also done a lot of memorials lately. Sorry to say, like Dino Denali, the Rascals, the drummer died. He had in his will he wanted to do a thing. So a lot of great drummers. Steve Jordan, so many great guys. And we do a lot with music manufacturing companies. Just did Gretsch drums a few weeks ago.
Okay.
Fred Gretsch was here. We had 15 different snare drums. It's like a mini NAMM show.
Wow.
We did Zildjian cymbals in January, and all these great musicians come and they sample stuff. That's really cool.
Wow.
And usually in the afternoon.
But that's just another it's like what like
Musicians
think of that kind of but
Yeah.
you're building and part of that's a great idea too. If you're if you have an instrument company, you want to come here hey, let's bring them all in, let's showcase the stuff. And
so
I bet a lot of them too have a relation. If you're a big musician and you have a set of drums that this is the brand that you have a relationship with them, right?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Drummers especially, they have fraternity among them. But we get great drummers.
Really? I didn't what do you mean? The drummers are all hey, if you're a drummer,
they sit here to talk shop passionately more than any other instrument. They always come they're just so love what they do.
Yeah. They're look, I got a snare from this snare.
Charlie Watts, our drum tech was here. It's all these people.
That's great, man. That's awesome.
We got all the TV bands, the guys from SNL and Conan when they were doing New York, and and guys, from the Roots player, you get all the local ones.
But you were telling us a little bit about this before. So to have, like you're saying, you do the SNL after parties,
right?
You kind of but the whole thing here, like you give them live band karaoke, which they love, and you were saying, but also it's like they can be themselves because you're kind of no press.
Yeah.
So what do you do? Like, what kind of things do you do to prevent, like,
I have a guard at the door, and there's a password to get in, and press hasn't really tried to just get it. They also try to keep it quiet where it's going to be. They don't announce it too far in advance, usually the day before or something.
Yeah.
And then we cover up the windows and it begins. They're all wired up from doing the show.
Yeah.
And it's all the crew that's on the show too.
Yeah.
It's not just
the actors, it's the
new cast. I don't know them that well. There's one, Molly, who's really funny. She's been here this year. Years ago, you knew who they all were. It's a whole new cast this year.
New and young guys.
People tell me show, but when I read about the old days when the original cast and all the subjects come to New York to go to those parties, John Travolta would show up that era before from that.
But still, I mean, like, that's just like, but also, they're the SNL after parties, like, we hear about them in just like in the zeitgeist.
Well, you have to come sign a lady next week.
Text me the password.
Steve, I will take you up on that, brother.
Go to sleep and you get up at 3 a.m. Come on down. No, she was really good. We did Gilbert Gottfried's 60th birthday here, right before COVID. He is so funny,
dude. Riot,
and that was
underrated.
Yeah, underrated. It's a shame he died. He's such a good guy too. But he did his podcast from here on the stage too.
Oh,
and Mario Cantone was on that. It's Joe Ross, that the comedian, was here, and Barbara Feldon from Get Smart. If you guys remember Get Smart,
yeah, of course.
She was 99. She was here that night. Paul Schaefer was here. I forgot a lot of people for that. That was a great party. But he was so funny. Oh,
do you have okay? I mean, you can close your eyes and go back to like this and this. I mean, the energy is different because it's the energy of a live show.
Yeah.
That is like what you were saying before, like the whole everyone's in on it, everyone's there. Like the energy of a live show cannot be recreated.
That's
I think that's one of the things you really love, Jamie, because you're big into the live, but you do more festival stuff, right?
Yeah.
So is that something like
in the summer?
like is that something you thought of? Because she's big into the EDM, right? And that type of thing. Is that something you ever thought of getting into?
We've had DJ parties here.
Yeah.
We've done all the furniture's moved.
Yeah.
We've done those.
That's a late night crowd.
Yeah, for sure.
That's an all night crowd. Yeah.
From a lot of that, it's a lot of waters because
Yeah.
and it holds ecstasy, Molly. So that's the problem with that.
That is too funny. It's a lot of waters.
Yeah, we've done large gay parties that date rape drug, and I would never do them. It's like Gatorade, vitamin water, and Red Bull.
Yeah, just keep them stocked. Yeah.
And every drug outside. But we have done those. It's not my favorite. But not too much we haven't done.
Yeah.
We had a lot of burlesque shows, especially at the old time.
No, nice.
So
has anyone ever done that? Like I guess a burlesque or like a bachelor party stripper type of thing?
Yeah, the old Cutting Room.
Yeah.
It's gone too puritanical now.
Yeah.
But it was back then a lot more stuff like that.
Yeah. You can get away with
Yeah,
you can do a little eyes wide shut action going on.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, there used to be a lot more of that. It's just people don't know how to have fun anymore. They're too uptight. It's like what you said during, since COVID, they don't. The 60s, you wanted to be with people, wanted to be part of something.
Yes.
COVID came and you want to be apart from everybody. Stay apart, wear a mask, don't get close. It's so sad.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. And like. Terrified.
Yeah,
like I'm terrified of women. You kidding me? Like they'll ruin your life.
Right.
Just for saying hi.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that right?
Or something.
Yeah, I do feel like a lot of guys are now scared to like approach women because of like everything that's going on.
Even if like a guy doesn't do anything and a girl does a whistleblower on him, right? Like
you can't afford the legal fees you have to settle,
and it'll ruin your life.
There's just scumbag lawyers that take a case with nothing to make money.
Yeah, and it's all hearsay, right? And there's no punishment when the girl is lying.
You can't afford to fight it. It'll be a fortune. So you just settle. Lawyers know you're going to do that, and they do that.
And even if you do fight it, it's still like your name's marked.
Because the pressures to judge and jury don't even have to go to trial. It's sad.
Oh yeah, it's once it's out there, you're labeled as this forever, and it's even if it's a lie, it's an absolute. It's a travesty, man. It's an absolute shame.
I'm not that young anymore.
Yeah. So okay, I mean, let's keep it going. So you're here, and like you're in this spot, and like you survive. I mean, like it seems like the trials just to get in here, was like you must have been thinking at times like, are we ever gonna open?
Yeah. To get the inspection, they're waiting for the building department. Once you change the use group, because it was retail, all the new 2008 laws apply, which means had to make all the 36-inch doors 44 inches, the stairwell 36, 44, type E fire alarms, sprinklers, had to put in a handicapped elevator in case you want to hire a handicap chef. Like that makes sense to have a guy buy a hot dog in a wheelchair. I got nothing against handicapped people, but it's not gonna happen. But you have to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
And the fire department inspection, the mechanical engineer inspection, the electrical inspection, the building inspections.
And that's also you can get insured and then
to get to C of O. And each guy can come up with something different. We had a guy come, goes, he needs spring doors on the mechanical room. So we put the spring hinges on, no big deal. Next guy comes, you didn't need that. He's a spectator. I'm an inspector. And so he did that for nothing. Up here, he got one exit sign going that one, the other. They said because it was going on the plans that way. So they said instead of changing the plans, easier to put another exit sign. So it's like the scarecrow doors. It's stupid stuff, but they got to come up with stuff. That's how they make money.
Yeah. They got to get you something.
Yeah, so they come in here,
man,
and they have. City needs money. Board of Health does that crap. The straws got to be covered, but not the stirrers. They both go in the drink. What's the difference? But it's just stupid stuff.
Wait, the straws have to be covered, but not the stirrers.
Right, they get like paper cover, not the stirrers. Like, because a lot of people here dying from straw and alcohol kills germs. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
How many people are dying?
I know. Hey, my grandma, the straws will get you. Yeah. Come on.
And there's nothing to burn here. We used to get treated once a year. You got to get sprayed, but it's concrete and steel. You don't hear about fires. And the one like in that famous one was a wooden shack with a 6-foot ceiling and an 8-foot pyro. Well, but not a building like this with sprinkler concrete steel, but. Whatever, they make it really difficult to forever to get open, and it drives you crazy. I wouldn't recommend it. It's very stressful.
Oh, I can't.
Plus, meantime, you're paying out.
Yeah, and you're transitioning, which means you're keeping like that. Just must have been
it's hell. We got a big kitchen. I showed that to you. We had to vent up 12 stories. So I did that, and you put a hand sink, and you got to put a second hand sink because you can't be more than 25 feet from a hand sink. You need one for the waitress because you have a coffee machine.
Oh my God.
It's just like I could be a zone.
Yeah.
We got a really nice green room with a 7-head shower and steam room in there for the acts.
Oh wow. That's cool.
Yeah, we did this.
Like you did it, hey man, you put it out, and plus too, not to like that's just like the stuff to set up. Not to mention like your sound equipment here is to the nines, like your video equipment, your show. Like
got bass traps up to the room, nice and good. And Marcus Stabi, the artist, painted all the gold on the sides and the big guitar in the window, and Mondo sold these big ones. He's a major artist.
Oh, beautiful!
I love that gold trim around that.
Yeah,
black.
It all means it's a whole story, but I don't remember what it was. But yeah, he did all that with the matching markers. Pretty brilliant.
Wow!
And he plays piano well. He plays it.
What an artist! Total artist, huh?
Yeah. All these. That's his style. There's like those weird little, people that could know on.
They're my favorite. I love that.
His style. Yes, those are his. Yeah.
Man, that's too funny
to get there. Yeah,
man, that's. I mean, but that honestly, like there's so much character in this building, and I know we're like visually describing it to people that aren't here, but it is beautiful.
You can do a tour. Those are from the drummer Leonard Skinner did those. So he gave us those.
Wow.
Michael. So rather than smash hotel rooms, he's painting, I guess. He gave us those.
Yeah. He kind of switched hobbies. Yeah, for sure.
Some of those up there signed. Billy Joel looked up at that picture of him when he was like, I remember that moment at Shea Stadium. I looked up and said, wow. When he saw his picture up there.
Unbelievable. So, that's a picture of him in Shea Stadium looking up.
That's what he said. Yeah. Because I remember that moment. He looked from the stage and
that's incredible.
You saw that picture, yeah.
I'll tell you what he did. So Citizens Bank Park is where the Phillies played.
Right. Sure.
And he did. It was when they had dueling pianos, him and Elton John.
Oh yeah.
And I'll tell you, man, I will never forget like sitting on that field and he's doing Piano Man and the whole place is like, come on, like that's what you're saying. Sure. Live events, man. It is. It's like a drug. You know, like if you could bottle that up and sell it, you wouldn't need any Molly. You know,
and then we had Pete Seeger here. I had 300 people singing "Turn, Turn, Turn." He wrote that. Pete Seeger's no longer with us, but what an icon. He was, around, when Guthrie wrote "This Land Is Your Land," he's around all that. So he was pretty. That was pretty major. Art Garfunkel. You know what I mean? A lot of legendaries.
So, I mean, okay. I keep getting. We're just we keep getting excited, but it's so good. So, okay. So you finally open the doors. You have, Billy Joel in. You have a big thing. How are you contacted? Because I guess the Howard Stern Billy Joel thing was 2014, right?
Something like that, yeah.
So how did that
They
come
reached
about?
out to us. Sirius Radio reached out. Sirius Radio's done what Blake Shelton here, Jason Aldean done a lot of stuff with them. They do like live broadcasting.
Oh, so they came to you like, hey, we
Yeah,
have this
Howard
idea
Stern,
for a
they called
show.
us. Yeah, that one. Billy Joel 2 Universal Music Hall.
Yeah.
That was what's his name? Alan Freed's son. And if you know, Alan Freed's guy coined the phrase rock and roll. So
Yeah.
his son was that together.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. So okay. So then, I mean, also we saw Les Paul had his
Oh, yeah,
event.
the old Cutting Room, I think it was 93rd birthday or some birthday.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we had Jackie Martling on the show
He's been
previously.
here a bunch of times.
Yeah, oh, love Jackie.
Jackie's a great guy.
Oh, fan show, listener show,
I don't know how he
big fan.
remembers every joke there is. It's
He's
incredible.
unbelievable. I used to,
Yeah.
every once in a while he still has the joke line. Like
Oh,
he
yeah.
he had like a phone line
Remember
you
that.
could call to
Yeah,
get a
remember.
joke. And every once in a while me and Justin will still call it and be like, that was a very good one. You know what I mean? But it's
Right,
great.
it's great, yeah.
But he had told a story about, and I don't know if it was here, but at Les Paul's birth, he went to like Les Paul's birthday and
Probably
came
the
up on
big one
stage.
on the or something.
No, it said it was at a club. I think it might have been at your old club.
Maybe.
But he came when I don't know if that's where he was, but he tells a story about it. But it was still funny. But either way,
Les Paul loved dirty jokes.
yeah. I think he went in on like Les Paul's Bob or something like that. He said like a crazy, but I'm butchering it. But either way,
Yeah.
so you're here, like things are like you get the 2014 show with Billy Joel, and then things are like cooking. You're doing great here. What are you looking for as far as like growth from this now? Because you've had so
Well,
much.
pre-COVID, he wanted to open other cities. Pre-COVID, but now that's
What?
all changed. I don't know if that's a viable thing anymore. The way they're
Oh
back then,
man.
that was the idea. We established the brand,
Yeah.
and musicians would recognize it when they're in Vegas.
Oh,
or
yeah.
wherever, LA.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And people come from Europe all the time. Go, oh, I wish I had this in Italy. I wish I had this in England. But the way things are, I don't know.
Man.
But that's
This place
fine.
it is like iconic, like
thanks. Yeah,
No.
I'm always here working, so I don't know what's going on outside.
I mean,
the cave.
it's one of those things where it's like you don't see it, but like I mean,
I'm
when
just
we
worried
walked
about
in.
tomorrow.
You're like, go look around. It looks like I'm like, he's like, well, he's here every day.
Yeah.
It
But,
took me like 5 minutes. To
I
get
just get, I got the stress. So, okay, well, that was yesterday. Now, well, we got to make
Yeah.
the rent again tonight and tomorrow, and you just gotta,
Yeah.
It's a job.
yeah, and
Take
we don't
the
have time
stress
to
of it
just
all.
enjoy your life. Yeah, it's
Do
hard
you
to just
do
enjoy
you
it.
do the booking or do you have a
Yeah,
booker?
I do the booking. I've had some over the years. It's hard to find anybody to do that.
Yeah.
You gotta have the relationships and understanding.
Yeah.
I
And
wish,
you have to be relentless too.
Yeah,
You have to
yeah.
be like,
but
you know.
you gotta know people. It's just so hard.
It's crazy too, like when booking. I don't know. I've seen this a couple times with
Yeah.
like booking the show.
Yeah.
But you were great. You're just a great dude. So like reaching out to you, like you've been nothing but like nice to us and receiving and can't thank you enough. But like when you're reaching out to other people too, and like you set it up through like a publicist or through them or whatever,
Right.
and then like it gets close to it and they bail, like what do you do? Like do you get into crisis mode or you're like, all right, let's flip it
I
tonight?
accept it. Stuff happens, so you close. That happens. It happens a lot. Not a lot, but it happens frequently enough.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's like, all right, so we don't open today, or you open 9 o'clock instead of 7.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like incredible guitar players, 2 this month. It was phenomenal. Sold like 6 tickets, so you cancel.
Ugh.
They don't want to play for 6 people.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't believe it because they're so good. And what's there to aspire to get that good if when you do, people don't care.
Yeah.
Again, there was a time when I was young where people went out and they wanted to see what's going on. So when the Rascals played the telephone booth before my time, and they did 4 nights, and it built the buzz of there'll be a line, Dylan online, Tom Jones, all these people to see the next great thing. It wasn't like that anymore because also it's so expensive.
Yeah.
Probably $4 or $5, and now it's a lot of money to come into the city.
Yeah.
So it's hard, and then I'll catch it online. I'll get that kind of attitude. I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
So it's really fun.
Yeah. I mean, have you felt like you talked about it a little bit when you said like dealing with famous people, you just try to be nice and give them what they want.
Yeah.
But has there ever come a point where you're just like, yo, bro, like,
No, it hasn't got that big.
No.
That bad. Someone will pay us. A lot of times I've never seen jerky before they get on stage.
Right.
Leave them alone until after.
mhm.
We've also had a lot of the kids of famous people like James McCartney, Paul McCartney's son, the Nelsons, Gloria Estefan's daughter. It goes on, like a whole. And no matter how good they are, it's hard to overshadow Paul McCartney, or you never get
about
your
it,
worth because you're
Yeah.
always people get your father.
Yeah.
So we've had a lot of metal, really good.
Yeah.
Louis Prima Jr. is phenomenal. Louis Peterson was one of our favorite shows. He's great.
And he did, and
His
it
dad
just
loves it.
yeah.
Great. He's a great guy. You know, he's got his father's magic.
Yeah.
But he's always been in the shot with his father.
Hey,
That's still great.
that is tough. But I mean, that is tough. I can't disagree with you there.
Yeah.
But have you ever thought too of opening up like, well, I mean, like, have you ever done like a live theater show, like a performance, like a Shakespeare or something?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
We've
okay.
done readings and there was something, a Lenny Bruce show here. Done a lot of that stuff. Chris did a reading here recently.
Nice.
Yeah, we do a lot of that stuff for sure.
You ever do any wrestling? You ever think
No, we had midget wrestling a couple times. They bring a little
wrestling ring?
wrestling thing here, and they saw the little referee and everything, and their bank shows over each other. It's great. It didn't sell well, but I loved it. I get bored. I need like some stuff.
Yeah, man.
Say trapeze. Did you have a
Yeah, we
trapeze
do
now?
silks and there's the things up there they hook to.
Oh,
Rings and
like
silk.
silk dancer kind of.
Yeah.
Oh,
A lot of
wow.
that. Wyclef did his birthday party or his birthday, everybody's in white. He had one, part of the show. We've done the front with the hanging pouring champagne.
Oh man,
All that kind of
that's
stuff.
too much fun.
We did Katie Couric's husband's birthday in January.
Yeah.
She had some subs. Richard Marx just played a birthday party here a couple weeks ago. There's a guy that does all 80s parties every year, and he gets special guests. This year, Richard Marx was Ace Frehley last year. Rick Springfield over the years, a lot of Eddie Money did one year.
Oh wow.
We get a lot of that. Yeah,
Do you ever? I mean, is there like a one performance in this space? Maybe
Right.
not the other one in
Right.
this space. Is there one performance or one thing that sticks out musically? That
Right.
is just music. One thing that sticks out musically
Wow.
that you're like, this was okay. We'll say from a big act, right?
Right.
Like, say you're at a big one, like these guys lived up to their name.
Judy Collins years ago. It was so long ago when we first opened. Barely set up. Her voice was still so nice.
Oh.
Just that you can't believe it. She did both sides now or something.
Yeah.
Like I said, John Anderson blew me away. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I remember one time there was or I saw this video, it was Stevie Nicks at like a rehearsal.
Oh, right.
With no like added anything, just her like singing. Bro, like unreal.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like
there's
chills.
some people like this is a
Yeah.
true gift.
Oh yeah. Jimmy Webb, he's written a lot of songs. You might not know him by name, but a lot of like MacArthur's Park, Tommy Gets Phoenix. So he would play and tell stories of Sinatra and people that did his songs. A fantastic show. And he would do those songs. And there's something when the writer wrote the song does it, their voice might not be as good, but something about it because it's their song.
Yeah.
So he would put
Great storyteller.
He hasn't been here in a long time, but he's great.
Where we live,
Simon with the old cutting is amazing.
oh, I bet. I mean, where we live, there's this restaurant by me. It was called the Roasted Pepper, right? And there was this old guy, and his name was Harry Prime, right? And he was a singer back with like Sinatra and Dean Martin. He's telling stories like he would hang out with Babe Ruth and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Like this guy, I'll tell you, man. He was a crooner, right?
Yeah.
So he'll sing you out the damn room, like blows the roof off the place. And like it was like kind of a restaurant like this, a lot smaller and booths and stuff. It is like 10 people jammed in a booth. He's got like this one little aisle. He's going back and forth. Women, like he's like 90 years old. Women are falling over themselves for this guy.
Wow.
And he's like the charisma, the stories he's
That's so
telling, like
cool. Yeah, the
just
stories are
like
great.
the best. So like your guy, Webb is that type of guy where he's like
sure.
charisma, telling stuff like that's type of
They're getting
performer.
Yeah, but unfortunately, a lot of them, Loretta Lynn even played with me. She rest peace years ago. Oh, I think it was to the radio station or something. But we've had a lot of those icons. Unfortunately, they're dying off like crazy now. Yeah. Pete Best, the original, before Ringo, the original drummer, played the old Cutting Room. He's coming up here this month.
Does he do like? Is that kind of like does he have to? Is that kind of like his gimmick of like?
It's not a gimmick. He does new stuff, and he played some of the old. So we do the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
He was a mailman or something and then when they did the anthology, he got some money. His brother Rogue plays with him. So nice. He played the old Cutting couple times. I've got drum heads they signed. Carmine Appice is a phenomenal drummer. Vanilla Fudge, Cactus, Ozzy, Rod Stewart. He wrote You Think I'm Sexy, that Rod Stewart too. Phenomenal drummer. We did his book release. He plays here quite a bit.
Yeah. Nice. That's fun. So okay.
Gong Show.
What is it? Wait, the Gong Show?
Yeah.
Town variety, and if you get gonged, you get pulled off.
Exactly.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
If you had a talent, if you had to perform, what could you do? Anything.
Like, is it like any talent or a talent that I actually have?
A talent you actually have.
Oh God, I don't know any.
You're getting gonged.
You're getting gonged.
Oh no.
They had group ones
You
up.
get a hula?
Yeah.
Okay. What about you?
I could do a pretty good headstand.
Sure.
I don't know how long that'll last, but people be impressed for like a little bit.
Right. I'd probably just sing the roof off the place. That's my
Yeah, Leslie Gold has the license for that, so we did that show here.
Oh, cool. Nice. Did you ever come up and guitar?
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, she had, it was, worked out. She had major people. Some were there to get going, to be funny.
Yeah.
It was a good show. And I'm married or I know she lived with Carmine the drummer. That's what made me think.
Oh, cool.
Carmine played the bass.
I'll tell you, I mean, man. Okay. Have you ever seen like I've been to a couple comedy shows that you leave and your face hurts.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Have you ever, is there anyone comes to
Louis
mind?
Black, the old kind
Oh,
Louis Anderson played here. He was such a nice guy. Rob Brewer, the goat boy, he was funny as hell.
The goat boy.
It was the
Jim
goat
Brewer?
guy. Yeah,
Jim Brewer. Okay,
yeah. He was the goat guy in
He's the
SNL.
best.
He was really funny. We had Janine Ralph at the old Cutting Room. We did Judy Gold's son's bar mitzvah here. But we've had a lot of comedians. Oh, Sandra Bernhardt has done both.
And you had Joan Rivers, right?
Oh yeah, that was she's phenomenal. I told you Chappelle's phenomenal. JB Smoove had that show, 5 Courses with JB.
I love JB Smoove.
He filmed a bunch of them here. Jay Farrow filmed a special here.
Oh wow!
Farrow,
yes. He does it. Talk about it in person. You think you have a good Ray Romano? Just put you out of the game.
Oh yeah, Ray Romano performed here.
Yeah,
it was him, David Tell, Bobby Collins.
David Tell,
and somebody else they did for charity. I think the year right before COVID.
Wow, unbelievable. So you're seeing some shows that legit you're exhausted from laughing. You know what I mean?
Some of those, it's an honor to have, And then Chappelle would hang out talking politics till 5 in the morning.
No shit.
He's really smart.
Did you ever have someone that came in and laid an egg?
I'm sure he might do. I'm sure. Bands for sure.
Someone working on new material.
Bands, it's like, oh my God. Yeah.
Really?
Sure.
Not kind of like an up and coming band. You're like,
yeah, they suck. They didn't belong here. I'm always nice to them. You don't want to discourage them, but yeah, sure, they didn't belong here. You just hope nobody important comes in. It's like I've heard the Cutting music and they walk up like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever do do people come up to you for advice to musicians and stuff?
Yeah, yes, got that sometimes.
Yeah,
especially the Berkeley stuff. Yeah.
What do they ask? How do they get signed or what they
what we do to get signed or get more people to us and all that kind of.
What would you say to them? If I was a musician and I just blew the roof off this place at Berkeley night, right? And I came up to you, I was like, okay, what are my next steps? What do I need to do? What are you saying?
Oh man, that's a tough one today. Just play because there's no more record labels to hear you. They put you out on the road and then you end up in Tower Records. But without record stores, you're going to do your own thing inside of a band, t-shirts and CDs.
Yeah.
So I can only say play and don't sell yourself short and play shitty rooms.
Yeah.
And too much exposure. Then people don't take it seriously. Charge a decent ticket price.
Yeah.
And don't play with everybody because I see them all the time.
Yeah.
So make it like anything.
When it's tough to you do think of those things as far as steps, progression, charging money for things like that, and it's you really do have to when we did our merch store, we launched a merch store. I'm not trying to big up us, but when we launched our merch store, we had the option of we could add this much to the price and we could get the points on the back end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
you also want that stuff out there because it promotes your show.
Exactly.
That's different.
I thought I was what sells more? Having what's better? Us getting a few dollars,
get it out
or
there,
get it the hell out.
That's
exactly what
I
thought.
Also, I would tell the kid when I would come to Berkeley and spoke in Boston, it's you're an entertainer, so dress decent, put on a show. Your music isn't going to be enough. Look good. You got an audience here. You put on a show. That's so important. If you just stand there like this.
Yeah. Give him the energy. Yeah.
Play well too. That's important. But
I always took the Ric Flair aspect of it, where he's people talk why he always dressed so good. And he's my dad was a doctor, and he always said what if I showed up in a house coat and slippers?
Exactly.
They don't take you seriously. You got to play the part.
Absolutely.
That's why me and Jamie showed up camera ready. Just
stay camera ready.
You're wearing merch.
My hat is part of the camera readiness.
Yeah, no, but that's you're saying. You're always wearing. You're always you were always dressed to the nines, looking sharp. You know what I mean? Yeah,
you got to represent the place. If I want to get decent money for stuff, we're not expensive or anything, but you want to look classy. Otherwise, you're some little schlub joint downtown.
Could not agree more. So, okay, we're coming close to the top of time.
Okay.
I wanted to bring this up to you. So one of the formulas we've seen now, as far as like growing your brand or getting your stuff out there, is YouTube has been like a format, especially I'd say for comedians. Wouldn't you agree, guys? As far as like comedians, instead of like going to HBO or Showtime to put out a major special, which is what that was the formula back in the day, is now they're like, just put it on YouTube for free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you think that, as say if like a Berkeley night came here and they did, recorded their set or whatever and put it out for
I
free?
think they do that on the Berkeley channel. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's cool to get your music out there.
You think it's a good, like, as far as someone who's seen the business, been
If
in
you're
for a
really
while?
young, you want exposure. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're real big and if you give it out for free, people won't pay. But to get exposure, yeah, I think you can do that. Don't give too much away.
Yeah. The idea for the comedians is they put the special out for free, then people see them, and then when they come in town, they're like, oh,
that
let's
makes
get
sense.
tickets.
We have one coming up, a podcast called the Laugh Button or something. Familiar with that?
The Laugh Bot.
Yeah, something. They're doing 3 nights in July, 6 comedians a night.
They're
It's a
doing and it
podcast.
live here.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Podcast, yeah.
In July.
Yeah, July 10th, 11th, and 12th. It's
Wow.
called the Laugh Button. And this guy's done major stuff.
I'll have to come and
we've
check
done
it out.
If you want to come be my guest, come.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're too
And
nice.
then we've done stuff at Comedy Central here too. They've done that. And you might put
I saw this. I think I know one of the specials that they did here. I
Definitely
definitely saw.
with Brown People, like Hanan, that guy. We did one bunch.
Oh yeah.
And Andy Cohen did a thing on a pilot. Never got any. Well, like 3 different curtains, so like a different venue. So
That's
we've
pretty
done a lot,
smart.
but we've done stand-up stuff, like I said, Comedy Central quite a bit,
Mhm.
and they do a bunch of comics and
Yeah.
they do the railroad tracks and cameras. But yeah, the Laugh Button thing, that should be a big thing. I think you're doing 6 comics tonight, 2 shows a night, 6 comics per show or something like that.
Damn. Hey man, when we start doing our first live show, we're gonna be calling you, brother. So, okay. We are coming towards the top of time. I would like to say in the description of this episode, we'll have a link to your website, the Cutting Room.
Cool.
It's the Cutting Room NYC.com. Is that right?
Exactly.
Okay. And then, what's the kind of like a week here? Like what Monday night? What's the deal with Monday night?
Do a lot of Broadway stuff because theaters are dark. Not always, but that does end up on Mondays a lot. And it depends. It's no special night. We do Sundays like at least once a month. There's jazz brunch.
But you
There's
have to get
other things
tickets for that, right?
Yeah, you can buy them at the door or in advance. There's also a lot of School of Rock kind of things. Like I think tomorrow afternoon we have that. And we do a thing called Rocket Academy out in New Jersey. Kids are phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Like
I love that.
last time. Yeah. That's come. They're doing the whole Dark Side of the Moon album. I think it's
Wow.
yeah. Kids, I'm telling you, phenomenal. They pick a thing like that and do it. Like from age 8 to 18, blow me away.
Well,
That's one of my favorite shows.
I mean, as far as like someone who's been in the music industry for such a long time, when you see the young kids coming up and killing it, that's just got to be.
It like skipped a generation of electronic stuff, and now kids are going back. They're really discovering good music and playing it, and it blows me away that they're so
Man, incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, and then when and also there's Berkeley night here the first Tuesday of every month.
Berkeley, it depends. It's
Okay.
just whenever we've had dueling pianos on Saturday nights.
Ooh.
2 piano people pay to hear songs and kill the song. It's a whole shit.
Yeah.
So we did that for a while because
Nice.
late night Saturdays people weren't going out there. We did.
No?
So we do no, and that depends. The rest, who knows? Could be a big band. This Thursday, 1968. They've done 67, 65. These players get together. That's going to be really good.
Oh.
Lester Holt, from NBC.
Yeah, of course.
He's playing here tomorrow night. He plays bass. Lester Holt in the Rough Cuts.
Oh, cool.
Tomorrow night, yeah. So a lot of Joe
Nice.
Scarborough has played here a lot.
And all of these you can see on your website. You'll have
yeah.
Oh,
On the
fantastic.
website, yeah.
So we are coming towards top time. James, what do you got to say before we get out of here?
Well, if I ever make it rich, I'm coming back here for my artwork.
No, love it.
You got to come hang here anyway.
Yeah. We'll have a night here.
Be
for
my
sure.
guest anytime.
Oh,
I
you're the best,
definitely
man.
will take you out once.
J-Dub.
This place is amazing.
Amazing.
It's been
Thanks so
quite an
much.
honor, and it's
Thank you.
pretty cool to sit up here.
It means
Yeah.
a lot.
No, it means a lot for you to have us. Is there anything you want to say before we
That's
take
it.
off?
Just keep live music alive. Get out there. Don't sit home. A one-dimensional laptop isn't the same of being out there and seeing
Couldn't
live
agree more.
entertainment.
You
So
need the energy.
get out there and encourage your kids to play an instrument.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you for listening. This has been another episode of the Working Perspectives Podcast live from the Cutting Room in NYC. There'll be a link in the description of this episode for the website for the Cutting Room. definitely worth coming here and checking it out. We'll have B-roll footage of this stuff, so stick around if you're on YouTube to watch it. But thanks for listening, and stick around for the ad read. Thanks. See you.